That tight chest, the PMS that wrecks you, the brain fog that makes you doubt yourself, the anxiety attacks where you can't take a breath. If you've been feeling stuck, no matter how hard you try, you just feel that you can't move forward, this isn't weakness. It's your body keeping a score. Your body is holding on to old emotions, old survival patterns, and until you deal with them, it doesn't matter how smart, talented, or motivated you are, you will keep spinning in the same place. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what your body has been trying to tell you and how to finally release it so that you can move forward to upgrade your health, your mental well-being, and your performance. And here is a part that nobody tells you. People can feel this programming on you before you even open your mouth. Your body is keeping a detailed record of every emotion that you've ever suppressed, every stress that you've endured, and every survival pattern that you've learned. And it's not just keeping this record, it's actively using it to influence your decisions, your energy, your health, and your performance every single day. You might think you are making logical choices about your career, relationship, or business, but the truth is that stored emotions in your liver might be making you more aggressive in negotiations than you intended. Unprocessed fear in your gut might be causing you to avoid opportunities that could change your life. Grief that is stored in your chest might be weighing down your communication and your presence. This isn't metaphorical, this is measurable, scientific, and completely changeable once you understand how it works. In the previous videos, we explored consciousness, frequencies, and nervous system programming. Today, we're going deeper into how programming lives in your physical body and how a tiny little change, as simple as what you eat for breakfast, can determine whether you operate from fear or creativity for the rest of your day. Because everything is connected. Let me start by showing you something fascinating. The famous study from the University of Aalto in Finland mapped 14 emotions across thousands of participants that show exactly where different emotions are typically felt in the body. Have a look at the graph and the scale at the side. Black is neutral, blue is heavy, and the lighter that it gets, the higher the intensity of the heaviness. And red is lightness, with yellow being the lightest. This isn't random, it's evolutionary biology. Your body is designed to prepare you for action based on the emotion that you're experiencing. Anger shows up as heat in your chest, arms, and head, preparing your body for fight or attack. That's why when you're angry, you feel energy surging into your fists and your face gets hot. Fear activates the chest, legs, and stomach, preparing you for flight. Your heart races, your legs get restless, and your stomach drops because your body is getting ready to run. Sadness and depression create heaviness, intense heaviness in the chest and low energy in the arms and legs, which leads to immobilization, withdrawal. Your body is conserving energy and pulling inward. Love and happiness create warmth in the chest and in the whole body. It feels like expansion, like openness. You feel like your heart is opening and energy radiating outward. Shame and envy create heaviness around the head and your chest. With the collapse inward, your posture is changing. You shrink. This is why when you're anxious, you feel your chest tighten. When you're in love, you feel warm all over. When you're ashamed, your shoulders round forward. But here is what's crucial to understand. Emotions versus feelings. Many people confuse them. Emotions are automatic, biological, first-order body states. They are survival responses that get stored in your physical tissue. Feelings are second-order interpretations. When your mind labels the raw emotion, that becomes a feeling. For example, chest tightness is the emotion. When your mind interprets it as I'm anxious, that becomes the feeling. Why does this matter? If you only work with your thoughts and feelings, you miss the root, the stored body emotion. Real healing means working with both the mental story and the physical storage. Let me share what this looked like in my own life during my survival mode years in Sweden. My anxiety attacks weren't just mental, they completely hijacked my whole body. I would feel like someone was sitting on my chest. My breathing would get shallow and rapid. I had moments where I couldn't even take a breath properly. My heart would pound so fast that I could even hear it. My shoulders and jaw would feel stuck, and sometimes I would even shake from my nervous system being overstimulated. The scariest part wasn't the symptoms. It was the feeling that I could lose control anytime or collapse. My nervous system was convinced that something terrible was about to happen, even when I was sitting safely in my apartment. What I understand now is that my body was storing the story of being the protector, the fixer, the one who had to hold everything together. Years of carrying responsibility for my family, living in fight mode, and suppressing my own needs created different physical patterns. The tightness in the chest, the problems with not being able to take a breath was fear and flight energy stored from constant anxiety about my family's situation and my own future. The tense shoulders was anger and control energy from always being on guard, protecting others, and trying to manage outcomes that I couldn't actually control. The problems with my gut and stomach was from worry and responsibility from that constant pressure to fix everything and everyone around me. And then the moments when I would feel a burnout and I would feel freeze and exhaustion in my legs. The depression that was taking over the whole body, and I was feeling like I would collapse under the weight of it all. And the health consequences were of course there. The constant stress dysregulated my hormones completely. Instead of missing my cycle like some women do under stress, I went the opposite way, getting my cycle 2-3 times per month. I was losing massive amounts of blood, which was leaving me weak, depleted, and with brain fog. My immune system was very weak. I was getting sick constantly, and I had no energy for anything creative. I was eating healthy foods. I understood psychology. I knew what was happening in theory, but knowledge wasn't enough because the programming was stored in my body, not just in my mind. You don't just carry your emotions, you wear them. They shape your posture, your tone, and the impression you leave every time when you enter a room. The tight jaw and clenched fists, they are stored anger. People unconsciously sense aggression even when you think that you're being calm. The round shoulders and collapsed chest, this is stored shame and sadness. You make yourself smaller and others feel that energy of defeat or withdrawal. The restless legs and shallow breath, this is stored fear and anxiety. You communicate urgency and instability even in casual conversations. This matters enormously for performance because people feel your state before you even speak, before you open your mouth. If your body is broadcasting all these survival emotions, you will struggle to build trust in business relationships because people are going to see that you're not stable. You will have a hard time communicating with authority and presence. You will have a hard time staying calm under pressure and accessing creative and strategic thinking. I've seen this in people I'm interacting with on a daily basis. Their body language communicates fear or anger, and it affects how their system responds to them, how clients trust them, and even how they trust themselves in high pressure moments. The beautiful thing is that the opposite works as well. When you release stored survival emotions, your natural posture becomes more open, your voice becomes more resonant, and you start broadcasting safety and confidence, which changes how opportunities flow to you. You become magnetic. Something that was really interesting, I had a one-on-one call with one dear lady. She might be watching this video. And she said, Anna, since I know quite a lot myself about inner work, I don't know if others can notice, but I'm mind blown about your change for the past year and a half. Alex, if you're watching this, I'm sending you lots of hugs. People who are more knowledgeable will notice all the different signs and changes much more than people that aren't and are at lower levels of consciousness. They can sense it, but they don't know what it means. But people that are knowledgeable, they are going to be able to read you immediately. They are going to be able to sense your energy as soon as you enter the room. I would also like to talk about how your food choices affect your body, mind, and inner state, and your daily habits. During my survival mode years, despite eating healthy foods, I had constant digestive issues and barely any appetite. This wasn't about the quality of my food, it was about my nervous system state. When you're in chronic stress, your body shuts down digestion because it's preparing for fight or flight. Your gut becomes inflamed, your nutrition absorption drops, and your microbiome gets dysregulated. Many people that struggle with acne, for example, have usually gut health issues, but they are unaware of it and they waste money on creams that are never gonna solve their actual problem. But here is where it gets really interesting. Your gut produces 90% of your serotonin. Just a reminder, if you haven't learned already, serotonin is a hormone that helps regulate mood, appetite, and sleep. In other words, the feel-good hormone, because it plays a key role in supporting feelings of happiness and well-being. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication through something that is called gut-brain axis. If your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, your brain doesn't get clear signals and your decision-making becomes foggy, impulsive, or fear-based. Here are some foods that dysregulate you even more and are keeping you in survival mode. First, processed foods and refined sugar. They spike cortisol and they destabilize blood sugar levels. Then, excessive caffeine. If you drink too much coffee, it keeps your nervous system in overdrive. Alcohol disrupts your sleep and your nervous system recovery. Fried and ultra-processed foods are creating different inflammations in your body. These don't just affect your physical health, they keep your consciousness operating at lower levels. Fear, anxiety, irritability, brain fog. And plus, they make you fat so that you can feel even more insecure and disgusted from yourself. Foods that support creation mode and are going to help you raise your frequency are fresh fruits and vegetables. They provide clean energy and bunch of antioxidants. Healthy fats like avocado and nuts are supporting brain function and hormone production. Fermented foods support gut health and neurotransmitter production. Clean proteins provide stable energy without blood sugar crashes. The difference isn't just nutritional, it's energetic. Processed foods keeps you in survival mode by making your body sick and not giving it the energy that it needs. While whole, alive foods support your body so that you can easily raise to creation mode. It gives you the nurturing energy that you need to be able to feel good and to perform at your best. This is the exact reason why entrepreneurs like Stephen Bartlett, for example, who's built multiple multi-million-dollar companies, talks obsessively about his diet and his healthy lifestyle and how crucial it is for performance. But here is what's important. This isn't a rigid diet rulebook. What regulates my nervous system might not be the same for you. Your body is the real expert, not a random influencer, not even a nutritionist on Instagram. The key is learning to listen to your body's feedback. Do you feel calmer and cleaner after eating and drinking something, or do you feel foggy, anxious, or drained? Your body will tell you always whether a food is lifting you up or pulling you down, and you should listen to it. So, how do you start listening to what your body is storing? Here are a few steps so that you can easily follow and recognize the emotions. First step is starting with sensations, not thoughts. When you feel triggered or activated, ask yourself, where in my body do I feel this the most? Don't analyze it mentally, just notice the physical sensations. Tension, tightness, heaviness, heat, pressure, emptiness. Second step is tracking emotional patterns. Each emotion tends to show up in predictable places. You can check the graph again and you will see where different emotions usually show up and their intensity. If the same body part responds in certain situations, you will know exactly what kind of emotion is stored there. Third step is noticing your posture and your presence. How is your body showing up in any given room? Are you expansive or contracted? Your own posture will reveal a lot of emotions that are stored in different parts of your body. Step number 4 is give your body a voice. Try to journal this prompt. If this tension in my chest could speak, what would it say? Or place your hands on an area of discomfort, breathe into it, and allow the emotion or memories to surface without any judgment. With mindfulness practices and mindfulness techniques, the more that you do it, the more that you're going to be able to read the emotions. Here are some practices that you can use to immediately release some stored emotions. The 4 R's. The first one is release through somatic shaking. Animals usually shake after stress to discharge excess adrenaline, and humans can do it too. Stand on your feet and shake your arms, legs, shoulders for 1-2 minutes. You can add music if you like. This is especially good for releasing fear, anxiety, and restlessness. If somatic shaking feels awkward, dance. Play something more active and just move your body. The second one is resonance through sound. Take a deep inhale into your belly and then exhale with sound. The vagus nerve responds to vibration, which helps you to release stored grief, frustration, and anger. I can make a separate video about the vagus nerve because it's so important to know quite a lot of things about it. The third one is restoring with touch. Place your hand on the part of your body that feels tight, like chest, stomach, and take a few deep breaths, connecting with your body. And the last R is resetting posture. Notice where your posture collapses and then slowly open your chest, roll up your shoulders and look up. Relax your body. Stay there for a few minutes, take a few breaths, and you're gonna feel the shift in your emotions immediately. You don't need a therapist office to release emotions. Sometimes your body just needs permission to move, breathe, and to express what's stuck. And if you have tried yoga and Tai Chi, that's what some types of yoga and Tai Chi are actually about. Most of them are releasing emotions. Even though many people that practice yoga and Tai Chi, they don't really know why they feel good after doing them. But this is exactly what is happening when you do yoga and Tai Chi. Let me tell you now why it matters for reaching your full potential. I think it's obvious, but in case it isn't, if you don't feel good, you don't perform good. It's as simple as that. If your body is storing survival emotions, your nervous system keeps recreating the same story, no matter how much mindset work you do. You might understand logically that you're safe and capable, but if your liver is storing anger and your gut is storing fear, those emotions will influence your decisions unconsciously. The gut-brain connection is especially crucial for decision making. When your gut is inflamed or stressed, signals between your gut and brain get disrupted. Your decisions become more impulsive, fear-based, or paralyzed. This is why successful people obsess over their routines and their diet. They understand that stable blood sugar equals patience in long-term vision. This is why high performers do intermittent fasting. But it's important not to just follow and do, because if you just do something that isn't right for your body, you might cause more damage than benefit, like myself. When I was listening to others without having enough knowledge myself, I used to do intermittent fasting, which was spiking my cortisol when my cortisol was already too high. And this was the last thing that I needed at that moment. And it didn't help me. It was counterproductive. So it's important to learn first and don't listen to what everyone is doing. Try it out and listen to the response from your body, because your body will tell the truth. Healthy microbiome equals balanced mood and less reactivity. Good digestion will give you energy available for creative thinking instead of survival management. Your food choices and your habits have a huge impact on decision making, and that's why many people stress over routines. But as I said, it's important to understand what works for you, not for Josh, Sarah, and Leo. Now, don't think that every single symptom is a stored emotion. It isn't. But how can you tell if physical symptoms are emotional storage or other medical causes? First, look at the timing and the triggers. Emotional symptoms show up in response to stress, conflict, certain people, or unresolved memories. And other causes tend to be consistent regardless of your emotional state. Then notice symptom shifts. Emotional ones would fluctuate quickly with your state and often ease after different practices that I mentioned. Medical symptoms tend to stay consistent. You can test it. Practices like yoga, tai chi, breathwork, if they change the symptom, it's likely an emotional storage. If there is no relief after these practices, it's probably a medical issue that needs addressing. And it can be a combination of both, of course. Get medical issues tested and checked, but if your tests come back normal, while your body still struggles, look at emotional layers. Not every symptom is trauma. Sometimes it's just bad food or it can be a real medical issue. But if symptoms show up with triggers and ease with nervous system regulation and show up in patterns that match unresolved emotions, your body is keeping an emotional score that needs attention. So where do you even start with all of this? Honestly, just by paying attention and noticing. When your chest tightens, when your shoulders are tense, when you get a lot of acne, just pause and ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me? If you want to go deeper, I have built 3 different paths to connect with me depending on where you are at and how you want to approach working on yourself. One is the book club, coaching one-on-one if you want someone in your corner and personalized guidelines, and my course if you want the full system at your own pace and a community to discuss it with. But whichever path you choose, just don't ignore your body anymore. It's been holding the score for long enough, so it's time to give it a voice. Your body isn't just keeping a score, it's actively trying to communicate with you. Every tension, every digestive issue, every energy dip is information about what you're storing and what needs attention. Most people spend their entire lives fighting against their body's signals instead of learning from them. They take pills to suppress symptoms instead of addressing what's creating them. They push through exhaustion instead of understanding what their nervous system needs, what their body needs. But when you start working with your body instead of against it, when you understand how emotions create physical patterns and how different foods and habits affect your consciousness, you gain access to a level of performance and well-being that most people will never ever experience. And just so you know, suppressed emotions don't just affect how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Over years, they can develop into actual diseases. I won't go deep into that here because I want to keep this video focused on basics. But if you want me to make a video of how these stored emotions lead to different diseases, let me know in the comments down below. I know how it feels to live trapped in your own body, to feel anxious, frustrated, foggy, exhausted. I've been there. And if I could learn to change the story, so can you. If you're still here, don't forget to leave me a like and to show me some love in the comments. Share this video with people who need this reminder and who need to hear this information, who need some hope. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon again.